I definitely have had videos that I was like, oh, this is so funny. I love this. And then you post and it's like, wah, wah. And you get really hard on yourself and you just think, oh, like, I'm stuck. But for me, it was like, honestly, I got one coming tomorrow.
Welcome to the Beauty Boss Breakdown, unlocking secrets to salon business success one beauty pro at a time. Today we interview salon owner, educator, and content creator, Erica Six. Sponsored by SalonRenter.com, a free resource for beauty pros to find salon booth and suite rentals near them. Let's dive in. Yeah, well, thank you so much again, Erica. Like, I know you really are insanely busy, like just all the things that you have going on. So I was honestly really surprised when you responded to me. We're very happy to
Yeah.
talk with you, and I've told
Yeah.
my husband Andrew a lot about you, and I've showed him your page, and because I've been following you a ton on Instagram. You always give me a literally a laugh out loud when I see your
Oh, good.
videos. So,
That's the goal. Yeah.
yeah, we're happy to like dive right in. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but
Oh, you're
um,
good. Yeah.
can you start by just kind of explaining um, like who you are, what you do, and your journey from how you became in the beauty industry?
Sure. Well, I've been doing hair for about 10 years now. I started a little bit later in life. So I was about 26 when I started cosmetology school. And so I felt like I was kind of late to the game. Like I was just like a lost, I was really wild in my 20s. I was drinking and doing all the partying stuff. And I did not have a direction, but I decided, okay, like I hate regular college. Everyone keeps saying do hair. So I just gave it a go. And I ended up really loving it. And so fast forward, here I am today, but I've been through a lot during this time. Um, the first couple years of me doing hair, I was not sober. So I was not super focused on what I was doing. I was really flaky. Frankly, I was just like not focused on it at all. So I got to a breaking point where it was like, all right, like I got to change my life when I was turning 30. And so I ultimately decided to get sober, which really is like how I'm here. If I did not get sober, it's a huge part of my story because if I was still in that old phase, I would literally not have accomplished everything that I've accomplished. So it's a huge part of me, my story, and I like to share it because it's like I'm so grateful that I was able to get through all of that. And then I guess kind of after a couple intense years of recovery, I decided I really wanted to make something out of myself. It was like, if I'm going to do hair, I want to be the best I possibly can be. So it just led me down a path of like really starting to focus on what I was doing. I started noticing I was pretty good at blonding services, decided to specialize in that. And then little by little, it was like, I kind of like teaching, so just kind of started out as like, oh, I'll post like educational stuff on Instagram. And then it led me into like doing independent education. And then I decided, I really want to make money on social media. So let's just like start posting every single day and start like literally tracking all of these things and seeing if I can make something out of that too. And then now I'm a salon owner, like decided I wanted to open up my own place with a business partner and she's amazing. And yeah, life is busy. Life is good. I have a lot of goals I still have that I want to achieve, but it's pretty crazy for me to reflect back on like everything that I've come through. And yeah, so I'm really grateful for all of it. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing. And something that I really appreciate you sharing is your journey and struggles with sobriety and
Hmm.
how where you came from and your struggles with that. And I definitely want to touch on that later on if you're comfortable.
Yeah.
But I
Open
mean,
book.
your salon is beautiful in Gig Harbor, Washington, correct?
Yeah.
So you're a few hours behind us, I think. Now, when you decided that you wanted to kind of get more into, you said monetizing social media, like making money on social media, did you already know? Did you always know that you wanted to take a humorous route in your videos? Is that just something that's been always a part of your personality?
I would say, yeah. I think for me, I like to laugh. And I feel like who doesn't like to laugh? You know what I mean? So I think it's a really easy way, like, especially if you are a funny personality, you might as well capitalize on that. And I've always been told people think that I'm funny. And I thought, okay, well, like, let's just roll with that and see what goes. I feel like I have just so many ideas all the time. And so it's just become really easy for me to think of concepts and then to turn them into a video idea. So I just feel creative with it. And I just thought, if that's what I naturally feel kind of gifted at, I guess you could say, then like I'm going to capitalize on that specific thing.
So is
So,
that just kind of your personality in your salon when you're doing your clients' hair? Do
oh
everybody just
yeah.
know you? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
mean, I
love
like to
that.
like be professional, but I
Right, of
like
course.
to have fun. It's gotta life is too short to be so serious all the time. So I'm a big believer, like let's have fun and do some good things. Yeah.
It has to keep your clients coming back to you because clients come to us for our personality, right?
Totally.
So,
Yes.
yeah,
I believe
yeah.
it's like
And
20% like actual technical skills and 80% like personality. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously there's people who really care about what their hair looks like, but if I was a really boring, just not a very nice person, no one would come back to me. So,
No. Not
yeah.
when they're spending several hours, several
Mhm.
hours, like a week or a month in your
Yeah.
chair, getting to know each other. And they're getting a service and a show. So really, they're getting extra than what they pay for. I
Totally.
love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm so curious about all things social media,
Hmm.
with how you got started, first of all. Were you like self-taught? Did you do any classes? How did you get comfortable with putting so many questions. I'm sorry. Were you
You're
self-taught
good.
or yeah?
Yes. Yeah. Totally self-taught. I just decided to start paying attention to like what I was seeing out there, draw inspiration and put my own spin on it. And then it was just like me actually sitting down and thinking about what would be interesting to me. So I was trying to like, okay, would I follow myself? And would I be interested in that? What kind of stuff do I find engaging? And it was just literally trying to really start tracking what was working, what wasn't working. And, you can look to other creators for inspiration, to see like, hey, I really like their style. I'm not going to copy every single video necessarily, but that gave me an idea to do like this concept. So I've most certainly got inspiration from other creators out there.
Yeah, I love that. Would I follow myself? I think that's a really great question for all
Hmm.
content creators and people in the beauty industry to ask because a lot of people have, I think, struggles with what to post on their
Hmm.
pages, like obviously the before and after photos. But I think you have to post so much more to show your personality because, as we mentioned, it is about showing your personality for
Yes.
your clients
Hmm.
and asking yourself, would I follow myself? That's, I think, a really great question
Yeah. Yeah. So
to
never took a social media class. So this was all just like paying attention, because it was something that I got really serious about and I really wanted to be better at social media. So
And now you're teaching social media. So
I know
that's
it's like, whoa, what a whirlwind.
yeah. Do you ever look back on like, I don't know, just and think, wow, how far I've come?
Oh yeah. I mean, looking back on like my old videos, even from 2 years ago, they're like so much different. I mean, I was just really inconsistent back in those days, mostly. I feel like I had good ideas, but like they just look better in general. And I just think that, I don't know, it just comes easier to me now.
Do you ever get like cringe kind of looking at some of your old stuff, like your old Facebook posts or whatever, you know? Because I
Yes.
totally
Oh my
do.
God. I think I did a post a while back that was like literally showing some of my hair, even like my hair photos of where I was. And I posted it to like what I'm posting now. And it was like, I
Yeah.
mean, we all go there, right? I'm just so thankful I've improved. I mean, that would be like the
Yeah.
real bad thing if I like still looked like I had the same videos or the same hair photos. That would be, I think, even worse. So,
Well,
Yeah.
100% because it's a little cringe to look back, and obviously like that's tough. But the thing is, without that, you didn't improve. Exactly what you said. So like
yeah.
that's you're actually making improvements if you could look back and say, "Wow, I was doing
Hmm.
that." But it's all a journey, right? You have to start somewhere, and
Exactly.
and one thing that we obviously saw is your new six-figure blonding subscription,
Yeah.
and we don't want to. You don't have to give away the secret sauce, but do you have any like basic tips that you could get someone started, in social media? Like, what would you say is the most important thing if somebody wants to take that leap into social media and really start honing in on that?
I would say consistency is probably one of the biggest tips I have for somebody. Even if you don't want to post every day, I think it's being consistent to like, I'm going to post twice a week and it's going to be every Monday and Friday. and you stick to that, and you even spec if you're not doing it every day, you also need to stick to a time. I think it just helps the algorithm understand, like, okay, she's posting every Monday and Friday at 10 a.m. Like, so it makes like the algorithm on Instagram or whatever platform, it likes patterns
Hmm.
and consistency. And once you build that over the course of about 3 months, I feel like it literally starts to push your video out, as long as it's good. I mean, I will say that's
Yeah.
another important one. Make sure that you're posting high quality videos. I think that's really important. I don't like to down talk, people's work or something, but I just feel like there's a lot of people posting things that's like, they probably wouldn't, they would scroll right past it if they saw that from someone else, and then they're posting it, and it's like they wonder why they get low views. So I think it's just taking the time, and like writing down, like, what do you want to do? Like, I know my why for why I want to do all of this stuff. And I
Hmm.
spend a little bit of time every day, every week, and I start to like go through, like, okay, how did all these things perform? If they didn't do well, then I try to like maybe think about some other options for the following week. So it's just like really paying attention, but consistency will, even if you don't have like, super professional high quality, it's still like, it's got to be like pretty decent at the very least.
And
So how long? Sorry, go ahead, Pen.
no, so I was just going to say, just to recap that, I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong. So consistency is key, particularly getting down to the hour in the day. So, that is super important. I didn't realize that, to be perfectly honest with you. I thought
Yeah.
consistency, but I didn't realize like the timing of it, in which the days and hours you post have to
Hmm.
be consistent. Okay, I learned. And then
I mean,
beyond
there's
that,
people that don't, to be honest. And honestly, I'll be truthful. Like, I have not been good about the timing, but I really was in the beginning. Like, I was like every day, while I was doing nighttime, like 8 or 9 p.m., and that was like really working for me. But sometimes it changes, and then I was like, you know what? This isn't working for me anymore. I need to do the mornings. So I've switched, but I feel like I was already like growing a lot at that time. So I
mm-hmm.
think when you're trying to grow and you're not getting a lot of engagement, I think that's when it's like the most important. So, and I would do it for at least a few months, and if it's not working for you, then maybe like come up with a new game plan. Yeah.
So how long
Great.
did it take you to really start seeing traction? I know you mentioned like 3 months, or what was that time frame for you to like be posting consistently and you're like, all right, this is starting to work. I'm getting more and more followers, you know?
I would say for me, it was about 2.5 months. Like I said, had made a decision in August of 2022. Yeah, so it's been just over a year, I believe. And I said, you know what? I want to like make money. I want to grow. I want to do all these things. So I'm going to post every single day. And like, no question, like, there's no excuse that I will have. Like, I'm posting every single day. And I stayed true to that. So, but after 2.5 months, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm starting to grow a lot. A lot of my videos are starting to get a lot of views, a lot of engagement. And so for me, it was 2.5 months. Some people can see it as early, I feel like, as maybe 2 months, but it seems like most people need at least three. It's just from what I've heard from other people.
And did you focus strictly on reels? Because I know you do a ton of videos.
Yeah, that was like kind of what I wanted to post every single day. Was it had to be like a funny, that was what I focused on, was a funny video every
Okay.
day. And so I would like
I think
batch
Wow.
plus,
content,
yeah.
and I would just make a ton of them, like 14 videos, and then I would be good for a while. So I would spend a day off in the salon filming. It was, time consuming, but honestly, people were like, why do you worry about that so much? And it was like, because I have goals and I'm like doing
Hmm.
this. So it's really worked for me. And I feel like anybody else that like wants to grow, I think it would honestly work for them too. It's just some people they don't want to put in the time. They're
Yeah.
just like, they want to be able to like make a video and it be good for a long time. And it's like, it's just not how it works. Like, in order to get noticed, you got to stay relevant. You got to be annoying a little bit. Like, hey, here I am, here I am, here I am. Otherwise, people forget about you. So, yeah.
How do you come up with all those content ideas though? Like one a day. That's a commitment in itself. But how do you just come up with those?
It's okay. So I will say, I remember the days where I struggled so hard to come up with like 5, 10 ideas. And I just like did not know. I just felt lost. But it's because I didn't like, and this is kind of what I teach. I have like a whole system that you have to like kind of peel back the layers and understand like certain steps and like really figure out what your goals are and like what your niche is, all of those things. So then you can have like a plan and like a roadmap to go. Like, because if you have no idea what your niche is or what you're trying to, what your goals are, you're not going to know what to post, or you're going to be posting the most random things that's really not going to make you grow, because people are going to be like, huh, like she's posting about horses and she's posting about blondes, like makes no sense. So for me it was like, all right, well, here's my game plan. And so I feel like now my mind works in such a weird way. When I'm just doing normal life things, I'm like, oh, this would be a funny video. This would be a funny video. It's nonstop for my brain to just think, oh, this would be funny. So I have like the craziest running list in my phone that's probably 10 pages long of ideas in case when I go to batch content, if I'm like, oh, what was I going to do? I have infinite ideas that are just there. Or like I said, I've drawn inspiration from other people too. So I've looked at like, oh, this video was super funny. This feels like it's on brand for me. Let me remake it. And so then I'll save videos in Instagram or TikTok so that when I go to film, I can look back and go, oh yeah, I really liked this video, but my idea is something like this. And so then I just do it. Yeah.
I love that. Now, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I still have so many questions,
Yeah,
and so
go for it.
something that I struggle with is being overwhelmed sometimes with
Mhm.
ideas. Like they either don't come to me at all, or you know how when you're drinking like a glass and you're trying to get that last little bit of ice and then they all just kind of shoot at you. That's
Yeah.
kind of how I feel sometimes with ideas. Like they just all kind of like shoot at me and I don't know what to choose. I don't know what's good, or I'll write them down and then I go back and read them later and I'm like, oh, that wasn't even funny. Why did I write that down? How do you get overwhelmed sometimes with all of your ideas, and how to I guess batching is a big thing to kind of
Yeah.
deal with that.
I will say, like, I mean, and sometimes batching, like lately, I haven't had time to batch. I've just been kind of like, oh, make a couple videos here and there. I'll stay late, like when I'm exhausted. Like I had a 13 and a half hour day and I still stayed and made a content video because I was like, I got to make something. But anyways, yes, I do get overwhelmed sometimes because for me, now that ideas and concepts come so easily that I just don't have enough time to make them all. I feel like I could literally do this full time, but obviously I still do hair 4 days a week. I educate and I own a salon. So I feel like, and then I try to have a life outside of all of that. So yes, I do get overwhelmed, but I think it's just picking, like if you have too many ideas, maybe go through and go write them down and just cross off the ones that just don't make sense for your goals and your brand. So then it just
Yeah.
becomes like, okay, here's 20 ideas, half of them don't make sense. And then like, yeah, they might be kind of good for like that other person, but maybe not for like your specific goals. So
Okay. Now,
yeah,
what about something else that I struggle with too is seeing so many people kind of do the same type of video, whether it's a trending audio
yeah.
or the same type of, I don't know. So sometimes I see that I'm like, oh shoot, that I feel like that was my idea, but now I can't do it because so many other people are doing it. So do you ever struggle with wanting to have your videos so unique, but then I don't know, having other people kind of do the same thing or
So are you saying kind of like if you see someone else do a concept that was kind of your idea, you don't feel like you can make it now? Or,
yes, or not even like I feel like it was my idea, but something, I guess just people kind of doing like the same video, the same trending thing. And I feel like my videos, I want them to be unique, but like
okay.
everything's been done, you know?
Well, I know I can sometimes feel like that too, but I think honestly, there's nothing wrong with like going on the trends. I do it too sometimes. Like if I just think, oh, that's really unique and different. Sometimes I see it when it's only been done once, and then maybe I try to make it right away. So I'm kind of like in the first few people that are doing it. But honestly, there's so like with me posting every day, it's like there's a lot of pressure to have like the most unique ideas every single day. So you might as well just, if you really like a video concept, don't worry about if like 2,000 other people did it. Like you can put your own spin on it, because then it becomes less pressure because right away there's a video idea rather than just like stressing yourself out and going, well, I like that video, but I need to come up with something different. And then if you get like, you can't think of ideas, it's just stressful and then you do nothing. So I think it's just better to, And I think it just keeps your creativeness going. And like I said, put your own spin on it rather than doing it exactly like how you've seen. And I think that's a good way to kind of go, here's my idea, but I can kind of still make it unique. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah. Okay. That's really
Yeah.
good advice. Now, something that I think drew me to your videos specifically, because there's so many content creators in this industry or just in general that have really, really fun content. But
Mm-hmm.
something I love about your videos is that you have a huge amount of charisma. I think that shines through in your videos. And
Thank you.
but that's something that not everybody, very few people, I think, even on trending reels, like even just like lip syncing to audio, not a lot of people can have that shine through. And you can tell the difference. You can tell the difference of somebody that like owns it versus
Yeah.
somebody that's just kind of mimicking it. So I don't know. I want to know your secret to that because I think I read somewhere that you were shy as a kid. Is that
Yeah.
true?
Oh, for
So
sure.
how did you get from that to like doing these dancing videos in your salon?
Totally. That's a good question. And I think that's what is so cool to look back on is to know like how uncomfortable I was doing, I mean, even just talking in front of people. But, and I'll just give like a little mini story of like, when I first started doing videos, my first TikTok, it was 2020 COVID. And I was like, I saw this video and I was like, I want to do that. Like, I might as well, what else am I going to do with my life? So it took me like 4 hours to make one video. Not one person could watch me. My boyfriend could, I didn't even let him watch me. I was like, nope, you can't be around me. And now I just went, you know what? I'm not going to worry about what other people think, what other people say. And this has happened over the course of like several years. But I just thought, I'm going to be my own worst critic. And if other people, most people are not going to judge me, like at least towards me and like say it to me. And if they do, whatever. They're probably just haters and that's just going to be what it is. So I was just like, I just need to like let go of that fear because I have fun with it. And so I'm just like, you know what? If it makes me laugh, if it makes me happy, I'm going to just not worry about what other people say. But it's taken a lot of time to kind of be like okay with that. And then fast forward when I was in Italy like last year, I made a video in the middle of Italy at the Vatican, and I ran around like Johnny Depp in the Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm sure
Oh
you've
my
seen a video
gosh.
concept like that. It was like kind of a little bit of a trend there for a minute, and so I had like hundreds of people like staring at me. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to get into it and I'm not even going to care. And I was wearing like a bright green, like jumpsuit. So it was like very obvious, like me doing this ridiculous run. And my boyfriend was just like, oh my gosh. But I just, yeah, it went from like one extreme to the next. I was so shy and uncomfortable, like very shy. And so me facing my fears has like made me feel really confident and really good. So I just made a decision. I was like, I just need to not care. But it's just reinstilling that like it's okay. I got this. It's okay. I'm going to make mistakes, but like if people judge me, like honestly screw them. Like they're probably just jealous and because maybe they want to do it and they don't have the balls to do it. So, yeah.
Everybody watching was probably like those crazy Americans, but
Yeah,
it
and
paid
I've seen
off.
people think some of my stuff is cringy. I've had rude comments to some of my like plenty of my videos, and it's like honestly, it's sometimes funny to like click on their page and like, all right, let's see what you got, and it's like you don't
Yes.
even do.
Yeah.
You have 50 followers and you don't do anything, or your stuff is terrible.
Mhm.
And I don't mean to sound rude, but I'm just like you have no room to talk. So
But those are the critics always that
yeah.
don't put any of their own stuff out there.
Exactly, exactly. They're hiding behind, Instagram. And I just feel like so many people that other creators or anyone who's basically putting themselves out there, they get hate like from somebody, honestly. And it's sometimes my personal videos where I'm doing goofy stuff, or sometimes it's like some of my hair stuff and they're like, just acting like I don't know what I'm talking about. It's like, okay, sure.
And it paid off because you made top 25 in the one
Yeah,
shots, right? The
yeah.
videos. That what was that experience like? Like how did you what is even the process of like do you apply your video or do you have like an application process? Do you just tag them, I guess, and then kind of gets picked up or what?
So they did start to make you fill out like a form to make sure that it's actually you and that you are giving permission. But basically, when you are um, trying to like get nominated for something like that, is whenever you post, you basically have to tag Behind the Chair One Shot Hair Awards, and then you also have to hashtag whatever. Like from all my funny videos, it was like, One Shot Hair Awards like underscore funny video, something like that. So that way, then when they go to look through all of them, they're looking at that hashtag and they're just scrolling through to see all of the entries. And then they just start to make their list. So that was something. It's just like one of many, there's plenty of big hair pages out there, but I just always really wanted, when I started getting serious about this, I always really wanted to be nominated for that. Cause I just feel like One Shot Hair Awards is kind of like, when you think of hair awards, like they're like kind of the top, like they're like the Grammys for hairstylists. Like they put on such a production. And so it's just kind of cool to like be recognized by people that, kind of like best in the business, in the hair world, and so I just thought I really wanted this. I was so glad I posted every single day for that entry. Like, I mean, like I said, I pretty much have posted every single day since I've made that pact to myself. But I don't think anyone posted every single day for that category. So I was like, I have to get one. I'm going to be freaking annoying about it. And so yeah, they didn't pick my funniest video though. I was kind of shocked at the one they picked. I was like, I have way better ones than that,
The
but
Coke addiction one? That
yeah.
one? I
I think it's
thought,
like kind of
okay.
It was
shocking. I
great.
think it had that like inspirational piece with like a
Yeah.
little bit of funniness, but in my opinion, I don't think it was like a laugh out loud. I mean, at least in my opinion, I think I have way funnier ones than that, but it's okay. Hopefully
It's
I'll
funny
get it
how that
next
works
year.
out, right?
Yeah. Hopefully I'll get number one next year. I'm still going to go
Yeah.
for it. So, yeah.
I'll be on the lookout, the 2024 One Shot Awards.
Yes, yes. Hopefully, I'll get some hair nominations from them. I didn't get any hair nominations from One Shot, but I got them from Masters of Balayage, and obviously, I got Modern Salon Top 100. So that was
Yeah,
good.
I was just going to bring that up
Yeah,
because that in itself is a huge accomplishment. The
I
top
know.
100 modern salons for
Yeah,
just especially, your whole journey and how hard you've worked to get there. It must have been a huge honor.
yeah. I don't know, Modern Salon. I mean, I was shocked when they messaged me and they're like, "So, we've been watching you for a while, and we are like excited to, let you know." I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I mean, I was very honored. I feel like Modern Salon. I mean, they are like right at the top in my opinion too. I mean, I feel like it's just such an honor. I feel like Modern Salon is, I got to know all the team. It's like it was such an intimate experience going to their award show, and I had so much fun, and like they are amazing people there. Like so humble, so real. I absolutely adore like Modern Salon, and I feel like it was just surreal kind of getting that. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Thank
You really
you.
deserve it. No.
Thank you.
Um, now, so I we talked about your achievements. What about some of the disappointments that you or struggles that you've kind of encountered throughout your journey? Like when you were first starting social media, something that I struggle with sometimes is spending so long on a video. Like you mentioned, your first TikTok or something took 4 hours, right? And
Yeah.
you pour your heart and soul, blood, sweat, and tears
Mhm.
into these videos. And then you post them, you're excited, it makes you laugh, and then you get like zero traction, zero likes, and then you just get knocked down several pegs. Has that ever happened to you? Or what other struggles have you had to kind of like push through and pick yourself back up?
I definitely have had videos that I was like, oh, this is so funny. I love this. And then you post and it's like, womp womp, just not what you think, right? And I think for me, it was like, it was a little bit hard at first, and you get really hard on yourself and you just think, oh, like, I'm stuck. Why is this not doing good? So I think it's really easy to beat yourself up. But for me, it was like, honestly, I got one coming tomorrow. Like, it was just like, don't even worry about it. Not one creator out there has every single video do the same amount of engagement, views. Like everyone has videos that are going to be like really good, and then there's going to be like some that are okay, and then there's going to be some that like in other people's eyes they're not that great for some reason. So I think it's just like letting go of worrying about the numbers. I mean, obviously, if you have goals of growing and achieving certain things and you literally can't get your engagement up, that's when you have to like go back to step one and figure out like, okay, what am I doing here? Like, what are my goals? What's my plan? How do I like actually attack all of that? But yeah, I have most certainly had very low engagement on some of my videos, and I just go, whatever, it's okay, we'll move on. So,
What about some other mistakes that you see people make in their Instagrams? Is there anything that you look at content creators and you just would do things, differently?
well, it's hard to answer. I mean, yes, there's definitely some people that I'm like, oh, that's a really low quality video. I think that's one of the big ones for me. Two, it's just, if like, I have different hair pages that I follow and like people of all levels, right? I like supporting other stylists too. And, some of it, it's just like it's just such a weird looking video. It's hard to explain, but you know it when you see it. Or just when people just have, for example, hair photos being done in a video and it's just like terrible angles, terrible lighting, and like there's just no purpose to it. I think before and afters, they were great when reels first started, and like literally you could post anything as a reel and it was like it got super super good engagement. But now there has to be a lot of like value. If you don't provide any value, solve a problem, um, basically cater to your audience, you are basically posting for nothing. I feel like before and afters, they're great, but you got to pack in some value. Otherwise, people have no reason to follow you. So I think it's just when I see stuff like that, it's like, sure, you do beautiful hair, but like, what else is there? Like, are you teaching me something? So I think it's just when I see that, I'm like, okay, well, this is how I would do that. And I'm not going to say that like I am not perfect. Like sometimes maybe all I have time for is posting a quick little, whatever, because I am doing so much and it is hard. It does take a lot of time. So I think I try not to beat myself up and be too critical of other people. But I think that some people just really don't know much about like how to post stuff or what's good, what's not good. And they need to ask themselves, would I follow myself? I think getting real and asking yourself, if I saw this video, would I like it? Would I comment? Does that help me in any sort of way? Because I think when you just ask yourself those questions, it can be really illuminating into going, oh, well, no wonder I have 5 likes. It's like, I'm really not providing any value or solving a problem for anybody. So
Yeah.
that was a
Do
long answer,
you,
but
no, it's very insightful. Do you have any tips? Because something that I'm kind of seeing in an Instagram now is putting a lot of value into captions as well. Like
yeah.
not, I've heard it's not so much necessarily about the hashtags now. It's kind of more about the captions, like having the keywords and values in the captions. Do you have any tips for caption writing or hashtags or I don't know. It's all a mystery to me.
Totally. I mean, I think it's all, again, tracking what works and what doesn't, because some people do no hashtags and just color by me. And I won't, like, they're big pages, right? They're people that, like, they have like 150,000 people that follow them. So no matter what they're posting, they might get a lot of likes. So I think some people look at that and go, well, they didn't post anything, like, and they got a lot of engagement. Well, it's because they already have a lot of followers. They do amazing work. And sometimes some people just get lucky with that. But I think for me, I like to use hashtags. I do not max them out at 30 anymore. I do 8 to 10 typically, really specific to the video. I'm not just doing super generic ones anymore, like blonde or um, explore page. Like I'm doing stuff that's like hair education or blonding technique or foiling technique, like something that's really pertaining to what my goals are. Or if I'm posting a hair thing, I'm doing Gig Harbor blonde, Gig Harbor hair, because if someone goes to search that stuff, I pop up. But I think hashtags, or I'm sorry, I think keywords are also really great, which is TikTok started with doing keywords and literally will show up on Google if you're using the right keywords. So I think Instagram is now doing that too. So I think I like to write a long caption or at least adding something, explaining, like if it's just something hair, maybe I talk about like what I did, what the maintenance looks like, maybe the cost, or a little hair tip in there for like blondes or something like that. Just like something to like make people want more of that, and maybe they save it because they thought, oh wow, I like that was really informational. I want to make sure I save that for later. But I think it can be really overwhelming to think of captions when people are like, oh, you got to provide all this value. But honestly, like the AI stuff, I use it on some of my things and it's really great. Honestly, I feel like you have to really give it good prompts to get a good answer,
Yeah.
but you write some good keywords. Maybe you take one of your old captions that like where a video did perform really well and you take what you wrote, and if it can pertain to another video, maybe add a few more things and have it recreate all of that for your new video. So I think AI is such a helpful, useful tool that will give you keywords, hashtags, and then you can just tweak it. You know, if you don't like it, you just refresh it and it'll keep rewriting it. And I think it's a game changer. So try using AI for sure.
I'm glad you brought that up, Eric, because I was actually just about to ask about ChatGPT and AI. And there's so many different tools nowadays, but even
Yeah.
just ChatGPT is amazing. So
Hmm.
it is awesome to know that you use that. Do you use any other AI services, or is it really just ChatGPT for the like the words, or as it does? Because there's a lot of tools out there. I don't,
I
you know,
know.
it's a little overwhelming sometimes, but
Oh my gosh.
uh,
I think every day they're coming out with new ones. It's like, ah.
yeah.
um,
Fantastic.
oh, go ahead. Were you going to say
No,
something?
no. Just basically, is it just so? It's just ChatGPT is the main one that you're using right
I
now.
think so. I think I've downloaded a couple others, but I typically just use Chat GPT.
Okay,
Um, yeah, I mean, I would love to play around with more things. It's just obviously it's more time that I have to like learn it. And I think for me, because a lot of times I don't really need help with my captions. Like I
sure.
know like what I want to say and I can just bust it out quicker than if I like try to give prompts to Chat GPT. But when I'm just like, let's just see what it comes up with, it's sometimes really great. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I love this. And I'm just going to add a few more things and boom, we got a caption. So I think for me, yeah, just Chat GPT is kind of my go-to, but every single day they're coming out with more AI like apps and stuff like that. So honestly, I think Chat GPT is probably the most popular, but I think there's a lot of great ones out there.
What
Definitely appreciate it.
about what
Yeah,
about any other like apps that you use? Like, do you film your reels in Instagram or do you use an app like InShot or CapCut or something like that?
I typically do. I was like Instagram and then I went to TikTok because TikTok had it dialed in. They like are great. They have a million options. Like I love the way that you can like edit things. My only downfall the only thing I don't like about TikTok is you can't save it to your phone before you post
Right,
it.
right.
So that was my only kind of like I just didn't like that with TikTok. But that's how I was doing it. And then I would save it in a third party, get rid of the watermark, and then I would upload it to Instagram. But the algorithm has changed again. And I think TikTok or Instagram has improved. So now I do make a lot of mine in Instagram. They actually perform better when you make them there, I have noticed, because the algorithm's always
Interesting.
changing. Yeah, it used to be like when I would save it from TikTok and they would just blow up so quickly, like thousands of likes in like literally an hour. It was weird. And it was all original audio because it was just from TikTok. But again, the algorithm changed, and then I've just been trying to do most of mine in Instagram, and I try to do the captions, all of that, like because it will be able to read it rather than doing a third party. However, there are times when I do like some of my longer tutorials for like six figure blonding or whatever. I do not edit them in Instagram or TikTok. I will edit them in Video Leap is like probably my go-to for third party video editing app. I think it's great. I think there's a lot of great you can use templates if you want like that sort of thing, just like Instagram and TikTok do, or you can do I'm doing like a longer tutorial. So I love the way that they have it. It's like really simple, easy to use. Um, and then I have used CapCut. I think that's a fun one to use as well. I think everyone should have CapCut because you can make stupid, funny little videos. They have great templates with music. And I just think it makes it really simple. You just plug in what you want to use and it'll like generate a video for you and you can tweak it if you don't like it. And yeah, so.
And do you have pages that when you were maybe first, because obviously you don't need the traction now, you've already blown up. But when you were first trying to get more traction, did you have other content creators that you would like tag like behind the chair and stuff like that to try to get noticed, your videos noticed more?
Oh yeah, like every single video. And again, it's more time to take, like, because I have an iPhone and an Android, but like on my Android, you have to like type it in and tag it. It's not easy. So it would take like literally like 2 minutes, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's annoying when you got to like tag
Yeah.
each person. But literally, I was annoying about it. I would max out the amount of tags on all the big pages, specific brands, maybe even like actual people creators too, you know, some like people that I really liked, or maybe if I got an inspirational idea from maybe Carlos, if I was like, oh, he did a video and I put my own spin on it or I recreated it, I'm going to tag that person because technically I got that video idea from this person. So I personally just believe in, if you're going to recreate someone's idea, maybe just tag them. I mean, unless you truly came up with it on your own, because some creators get really mad. I'm not going to name the person of someone who, it's not even in the hair industry, but this person got pissed about this other creator making basically the same concept of her ideas. And so I just thought, it's probably just better to tag that
Tag
person
them. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
avoid
That's a
it,
good
right?
idea.
Yeah. And I
Credit where
think
credit's due.
when other people recreate mine, I personally take it as a
Oh, did
compliment.
we
Like,
lose you?
are you still here?
Yeah.
Yes, sorry, you
Yeah.
froze for a second.
Oh,
The
okay.
last thing we heard is you think when
Oh, so what was I going to say? When people recreate my reels, because sometimes I come up with like a very unique idea, like never seen it before. And that's again something I try to focus on is like, what am I not seeing? And I capitalize on that. But um, I think it's great when other people do it. It means like this was a funny idea and like people, it's so funny people want to recreate it. So I personally take it as a compliment when other people recreate my concepts. But I do like when people tag me, like, hey, this was, inspired by this person. It just makes you feel like they're recognizing, like, hey, this was not my idea. I just think it's polite, honestly.
no,
Creator
that makes
etiquette,
sense.
basically.
Creator etiquette.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Um, so I want to be conscious of your time because I know we've already taken up a lot of
You're
your time
good.
here, so we
Honestly,
can.
like you're totally fine. I'm good on time.
Well, a lot of this has been so insightful because social media is really just like a black hole for a lot of people. We just don't know what we're doing. I
Yeah.
feel like we throw spaghetti at a wall, see what sticks, but just really nothing. So, um, Andrew, do you want to move on to the Booty Boss meltdown?
Yeah, absolutely. One segment of we like to do is like a beauty boss meltdown. And so do you have anything you'd be willing to share, like whether that was a mistake that you made or a funny event that happened in your career that you like had a lesson or something to take away from that we could share?
Yeah, I guess I know. I think that was the one question. I was like,
What do I
what's my
say here?
answer for
Yeah.
that? I was honestly struck. That was the only one I was like, gosh, I don't know. It's like hard for me to think, right? But I feel like the biggest lesson was honestly like again, kind of going back to like my sobriety story, like
Yeah.
at my like I had so many rock bottoms, like I had like a collection of rock bottoms, but what was a really big turning point for me, like I was struggling really, really hard those first couple of years of me doing hair. Like I was making like no money. I mean,
Hmm.
I think $13,000 like my first year of doing hair. Like it was nothing. And I was like drinking and using like while I was even at work. And it was just like I was a mess, honestly. I mean, I was not obvious, but I'm sure people were like, what's going on with her, type
Hmm.
sort of thing. But I think for me, it was just, I was like 30, almost like 30 years old. And I just felt like I was so far behind everybody that was my age. I was struggling financially. I didn't have like basically anything to my name. I was making no money. I just was like, oh my gosh, everyone has careers or families and I have nothing. And so it was really hard for me to like get over that. And I was like having pity for myself. And I just was like, how am I ever going to like make any money or make a name for myself? All those things.
Hmm.
So I think for me, it was like when I finally got on the journey of getting sober and like once I started getting really focused on turning my life around, it's crazy how fast, looking back, how things were really starting to rapidly improve. So I guess it's like, I just share this as like inspiration of, and now I make a lot more money than that per year. And I feel happier and I've done way more things in my life than I ever thought would be possible. Even my mom was like, I'm so surprised that you've like come so far. So I feel like even when no one believes in you, maybe you don't believe in you, you don't see a way like to be successful or reach your goals, like dream big, because if you get really focused and really serious and do a lot of massive action, like you totally can make your life become like your dreams become reality. So I think it's just don't give up, and just go for it.
I love that, Erica, and thank you
Yeah.
again for sharing that because that is obviously something very personal and you know, quite honestly, it's something that people struggle with, may not admit it, but the fact is, you know, you saw this thing in your life, you weren't happy with where you were, and you made a conscious decision, and now so much has changed for the better. So that's amazing,
Yeah.
and really appreciate you sharing that. And on that front, you know, obviously you have a lot of things going on. You're very successful, have a new venture with the social media coaching. Where do you see yourself, you know, an ideal 2 or 3 years? What's that next evolution of Erica look like?
Well, good question. So this is something I've been thinking a lot about, and I truly love doing hair. So I want to continue doing hair, but I'm going
Hmm.
to take a little step back, maybe drop one day. So maybe going down to 3 days a week. I want to be doing a lot more classes in person, online. And then I'm also really getting kind of my career going with like paid collaborations. So I need more time. So actually, I can focus on those
Yeah.
things because obviously content takes time to make. And I just, right now, I am very maxed out with everything and I'm, stressed and everything. So I'm trying to minimize that. I still want to do hair, but I think dropping to 3 days, a lot more education, and then a lot more like paid collaborations is something that I think is kind of where my life is going. I'll still have the salon for sure. But yeah, that's kind of my goal is just to be able to focus on a lot on the education and content collaboration piece.
And you have so much education to give. Like I feel like I've taken I'm not the social media person, Cami is, and I've just taken a master class in the 40 minutes we've been talking. So thank you so much. And I think that's
Yeah.
going to be wildly successful for you as you continue on your path. And I suppose you know, one last thing, Cami, do you have any other questions or anything you want to add?
No, other than just we always like asking if you had one piece of advice for somebody in our industry who's maybe just starting out or just trying to start their own business, what advice would you give them?
I guess I probably kind of said it with my inspirational story is
Yeah.
Yeah,
just honestly dream big, even if other people laugh at you, and create a plan, write it down, see it every single day, and figure out how you can make that happen. So little steps every single day, because then it becomes a little bit more doable rather than just going, how am I going to make 7 figures? Okay, well, maybe let's figure out how I can make 100,000, 200,000,
Hmm.
or how can I start doing this XYZ? So like basically doable goals, mini goals to get to your bigger goal. So then you start to like boost your confidence and your capability. And then it just becomes like a snowball and it just builds and builds and builds. And pretty soon you'll reflect back 3 years ago and you will have achieved what you've created or what you've wanted for yourself. So I think it's dream big and go for like the real things that you want in your life because I'm so glad that I did. Yeah.
I love that. Andrew,
Yeah.
do you have any more questions for Erica?
No, Erica, you've been absolutely awesome, and I, of course, just wanna plug the your new venture, Six Figure Blonding, that subscription, and of course, where else can people get in touch with you, Erica? You'd already said the best places to reach you, but where? Why don't you go ahead and let us know where are the best places to reach you?
Yeah. Well, I do have a website, which is ericasixstyle.com. And so if people are interested in, I do social media mentor sessions. And so that's like one thing. I also do in-person classes. Some people host me at their salon or I do them at my salon. Obviously, I have that like little education page. And then I'm also going to be doing and having available a lot of like actual like classes, um like actual just like I'll put up one class for maybe my social media class, like my 6 figure social. And that will be like you can just go purchase that. So that's going to be coming all in 2024 as well. But yeah, ericasixstyle.com. Obviously Instagram is the same one. And then I'm on TikTok too, Erica6. But yeah.
That's
Fantastic.
awesome. Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
then we're gonna see you at the 2024 one shot Awards. This year
Yay!
too. Yeah.
You guys are gonna go?
No, we're gonna see you there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know when voting begins.
Oh, I totally will. I know. I think I posted it on my social media a little bit last year, like in the summer when it was like people were voting. And so I know some people voted for me like every single day like you could, but yeah, I know. I get a little obsessed about it.
Well, I'm really excited to see what this upcoming year brings because, as I said,
Yeah.
your videos legitimately make me laugh out loud. So
Oh,
I
thank you.
appreciate all the work that you do and put into them, and we appreciate you doing this interview. It's been very insightful and very helpful,
Good.
and it's so nice to meet you too.
I know. Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much for having me. It was fun. I love talking about this stuff. I think it's because I know what it's like to struggle with this stuff. And I feel like that's why I decided, you know what? Like, I've come a long way with social media. Like, I would love to share that with other people so they can maybe not go through the same struggles as me. So I love teaching.
Thank you for making time in your
Yeah.
schedule, and we're looking forward to seeing what else you come out with.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank
Well, have
you.
a great rest of your day.
Okay. Thank you. You too.
See ya.
Bye.